Hello, my name is Tony Berard, and we're going to talk about dice chess again today. This is a brand new variant I just invented. Uh, I thought I invented it in one day on November 24th, but yesterday I implemented a new rule. Actually, I took away a rule from the original one because it made the game untenable. and so, uh, but now that I have it all settled in, uh, it's a really great game. It's powerful. So we're going to talk about it. Um, so I have on the wall here one of my previous things from the first video, but it's good to show it here now. This is the turn scale. The operation. Let me put this in one hand. All right. So the operation is you can increment or decrement for 1 point each. You can capture for 2 points, and you can move for 3 points. And observe this at the bottom. Each turn is 6 points, except white's first turn is restricted to 3 points to balance the game. And you can get this game on the Game Crafter site. This is the top of the box that it comes in. You get these dice, this board, and I also have a board printed on the top of the box. And on the side, I guess I gotta back it off just a little bit. There. That's the side of the box. All 4 sides say the same thing. Dice chess, a new chess variant invented by Tony Berard. Well, that's me. And so, here's the board here. And so, in the previous video, I showed the opening setup. So this time I'm going to talk some of the finer points of the game. And so, let's say white has a 3 here. Let's put black's king cube there. White's king cube can go here, I guess. Let's say that. All right, so on F7, black has a 2. And on C4, white has a 3. If this were white's turn, white could increment this to a 4, and then go 1, 2, 3, 4, and capture the king cube. So let's say it's black's turn and black does that. And let's just say he moves it twice to here. All right. And so now it's white's turn. And so white can go 1, 2, 3, but white cannot land on here. And so, well, actually, that was foolish of black. Let's say, all right, let's start this over. Because if it was white's turn, well, white would have done that. If it was black's turn, black would not have moved the king out of the way. Black would have done something else. So I'm going to try to say some reasonable things that these players will do. And moving the king over here was just foolish. If it was black's turn, black would have incremented this to a 3 for 1 point. Incrementing is 1 point. And so then 1, 2, 3 can capture the 3. Because moving plus the capture is 5 points, and the increment was the 6th point. So 1 plus 3 plus 2 is 6. And then the 3 can be captured. So the point I'm illustrating here is that the defense here requires a range of 2. So if a piece is here, 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 or here, 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 or here, 5 of them, or of course any of these 1 spots away from behind. You have to be that close with a 2 in order to capture this guy. You can't be farther away with a piece that's in range for that piece and capture this. Mobility and power are inverse relationships in this game. And so this 3 is not threatening this 2 because it has to drop down to a 2 in order to be able to capture it. But when 1 does that, it's not in range. But look at the 2. The 2 could increment to a 3 and capture this. So there's an advantage to being a 2 in this spot as opposed to being a 3 in this spot. And likewise, we could reduce the power level by 1. And so this 3 is in range, but it needs to be, let's call it the ring. So a piece needs to be in the ring as a 1 in order to be able to threaten this piece. So let's call this the ring of capture. So if you're going to be in the ring of capture, you have to be, let me say it this way. You have to be in the ring of capture in order to capture this piece. And not more than 1 thing higher so that you can decrement and capture. So this 3 is not in the ring of capture. And if this is a 2, then the ring of capture is 2 units wide. Oh, it's out to here. So this is the ring of capture for a 2. And if there's not a piece in the ring of capture, then the 2 is safe for that turn. Because a piece won't be able to capture it unless it's in the ring of capture. So I just made up that name. And so that will be one of the things that people will have to understand. The ring of capture. And so the ring of capture for this 3 is out 3 rings. 1, 2, 3. So this 2 is in the ring of capture. Well, so the ring of capture extends past the board for this 3. So here's 3's ring of capture. So this 2 is in 3's ring of capture. But this 3 is not in 2's ring of capture. So a similar concept to this is the square of the pawn. If a king can step in the square of the pawn, then the king can catch the pawn. And so 1 just makes a square from the pawn to the farthest rank. And if a king is in it, then it's okay. All right. So we have the ring of capture. Important concept. All right. Let's talk about some openings. So I'm going to pause the video for a moment. Okay. So now I've got this board all set up. Guess I'll stand so I can get a little bit better perspective on it. There. Okay. And so here's the opening position. Observe 5, 4, 3, 5, 4, 3, 5, 4, 3, 5, 4, 3. The king cube gets the normal king position in chess. A 6 goes where the queen goes. And the pawns are all set to 2s. Now, through the power of increment and decrement, these first 2 operations here, all of these pieces actually are the same, except for the king cube. So there's only 2 kinds of pieces that white has. And there's only 2 kinds of pieces that black has. And so the difference is when you set your increment and decrement levels, you can change. So there is no promote in this game. There also is not castling because These are all rooks anyway. They're all queens. They're all pawns. They're, they're all the same, so castling's not needed. Plus, the king can move 2 spaces in a turn. If the king cube is here, it can go move and move, or move and move. So the king can go up to 2 spaces in all directions. So if the king cube is here, you get this like ring of capture of size 2 around the king. All those 25 spaces are available. Well, including the one he's on. All right, so let's say white does this. E2, E4. That's a time-honored chess move. And so black can do a number of things. One of the things I was shown in the last video was this move. So suppose black does that. 3 points and 3 points is 6 points. So black's turn is done. And then white can capture and let's say increment this to a 3 for the 6th point. Well, of course, black would like to recapture back. Black has several options. Black could recapture here because this 2 is in the ring of capture for this 2. So any pieces in the ring of 2 can capture this 2. So that's in the ring of 2. Well, this is in the ring of 2 also, but it has to be in a straight line shot to it. So a knight away is not going to get it. But this 2 is also in the ring. So let's say this 2 captures it. That's different from the last video. And so off to the side, 1 piece each has been captured. But it looks like black has an opening advantage now because black has more work showing. And so now it's white's turn. So let's say white does this. And that. And so the 6, the ring for 6 is really huge. 6 units away. So this 2 is clearly in the ring. And just because a capture is possible doesn't mean one should do it, I guess. So let's say black does this and this. I guess development in this game is gonna, the pregame will be quite different. I mean, we want to set up our things, and the 2 does provide a nice fence because you gotta, this ring of 2 is in here. So pieces have to be in the ring of 2. So it provides a wall, a natural wall, this ring of 2. So a person's going to have to break their own ring in order for the opponent to come in, or the opponent's just going to have to develop pieces. So there is development that's going to need to be done in this game. So let's see what will... so let's say white does this. A move. What was that, a 3? So I can't decrement it to... Yes, I can. A move and 2 decrements to a 1. I'm looking at how far down it is through the screen. Can't judge the distance through the screen. Alright, so that's 2, and there's 1 more point to do. So let's decrement this to a 1. Alright, let's say that's white's turn. Now, black can do this, I guess. Capture. And then it's, let's say, increment this to a 3. Now it's white's turn. White will capture. And let's decrement this guy to a 1. So, I've shown a number of turns here. So I guess I'll Well, I would like to talk about the end game again. So let's clear this off. There's obviously a lot of different ways you can do the pregame, but I didn't do this with... So let's see if black... Let's give black a 2. There. Alright, so now it's white's turn. So let's say white does move, move. So the idea is you want to get to the center of the board because it's harder to checkmate in the center. And so let's say black spends 4 points to increment to a 6. So then it's white's turn. 1, 2. Notice a move and a move is not going to endanger the king because it costs 6 points to move to here, so there's not enough to do the capture. So these two kings cannot capture each other even though they're in a range of 2 units away. They have to be 1 unit away. So now it's black's turn. So let's say 1, 2. So that's 6 points. So now it's white's turn. So white's in check, and the black king covers these 2 spots. The 6 has got this, 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 this. Not this, but the 6 has this covered too. So this hole, not to here though. So there's quite a bit covered. So let's say white does that. So then let's bring the 6 to here. So check again. I guess we'll move that also. So if white does that, well, let's say they're just mirroring his moves. So now what can he do? Well, he can't do any of these others. He has to go to here. 1, 2. So one, 2. So he can go here, but he can't go to any one of these 2 spots, and he can't come out to here. So his life is restricted to, well, what are his safe spots? Here and here, that's it. So let's say he does that. Well, he doesn't have to move. Let's say he just stays there. So white punches his clock. So now 1, 2. Is that checkmate? Nope. He's got this spot. 1, 2. Is that checkmate? And maybe one can win. I didn't think so in the previous video. But I've been having more facility with the game now. Maybe that is a win. Let's well, let's try from here. Alright. So, well, let me start it from here and here. Alright, so the 6 is here. Well, let's start it from there. Alright, so it's white's turn. Let's say white does this. 1, 2. So then black can do this. And then another move.
Yeah, you can't do this. I think that's what I might have been thinking before, because there's too much escape possibility. So, yeah, and that's not correct either here. This needs to be here. So 1, let's say, and 2. There, check. Now that gives some good coverage. This place is still safe, and this place is still safe. So let's say white goes there. Well, actually, let's put white here. Check. Well, now white can do this. 1, 2. So 1, 2. That does allow him to come back to here. Check. Yeah, there might not be enough power to get him over there. 1, 2. 1, 2. This place is safe from the king, because he can't go 2. I'm thinking that, the range of 2 for the king, but the king can only defend the ring of capture. So that lets him out. 1, 2. So you can't do that. So you have to stay on the 3rd rank. Check. Got here. Yeah, there's not enough power. It's not possible. So you have to have 2. So if you get behind by 1, you're okay. Because I did the last go around with with the surround in there, and actually 1 piece should be enough, because I hadn't considered that you can do just move and then capture the king. I didn't even those thoughts didn't occur to me. So 1 piece is strong enough with the surround, but without the surround 1 piece is not strong enough. So I've taken surround out of the game, so it's not a rule anymore. So 1 piece truly now is not strong enough, but it was before. So, all right, so I've shown the ring of capture, another possible opening. I've shown the ring of capture with the opening series, showing that there's a protection up to the 4th rank for each player. And so you have to break into that. So there is tension in the game right from the get-go. You have to break through that, or lose it through, inattentiveness. So development is important in this game. Even though they're all equal, there's still development that's required to get the pieces into place. So this is I really like this game. This gives me a lot of what the game Tines and Barbs gives me. The fact that you can do multiple things on multiple pieces. But there is a little bit even more of an advantage in this game over Tines and Barbs. And that is that you can move 2 pieces in a turn. That's going to give great mobility to this game. So, yes, great mobility. The combinations are there. You have to have discipline to put your pieces. You have to increment them or decrement them. Oh, I wanted to show one other defense posture. For white, I was trying to get it in the game a little bit, but this is a pretty powerful defensive posture, because the ring of capture is right here. So the opponent's going to have to get here with ones in order to be in the ring of capture to capture these guys. Yeah, if a 6 comes up over here, check. Well, the player might have something like this going on, and you could, do that, and these are defended. But even if you don't have that, you still got this, or even this. So there's things that can be done. Or even if, something like this was going on. Let's say there was a 5 here, a 5 here. A 5 here. So these guys are kind of pinned, right? If you move it. So, but even so, you could do this. And that keeps the barricade intact. So even though all these things, are pouring down on it, because you can move 2 pieces in a turn, you can slide one through the diagonal and recover the hole back up. And so, this white is holding the fort, so to speak. So, yeah. All right. I'm going to end the video here. I'll talk about more dice chess in upcoming episodes, so stay tuned. This is Tony Berard signing off.